Now to the Sunshine State, where Representative Val Demings is trying to punch her ticket to the U.S. Senate. It comes as some say Florida is shifting from a reliable battleground to a red state, but Demings maintains a Democrat not only can, but will win there. We got a chance to go along for a ride with her as she races toward November in a contest that could ultimately help Democrats keep control of the Senate.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I have not ridden a bike in I don't know how long.
It's fitting that it's called an election cycle. Congresswoman Val Demings is prepared to ride till the wheels fall off, keenly aware that in order to stay balanced on a bike, you must keep moving.
They say, you never forget how to ride a bike. Okay, there we go. Now I'm good. Now I'm good.
We met up with the former police chief in Bill Frederick Park in Orlando.
Okay, Snake.
Oh, whoa. Welcome to Florida.
A city where she once served as the first female police chief, currently governs as congresswoman, and is now a Senate hopeful.
Not many candidates for Senate ride a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson, no less. Tell me about your interest in biking in the real sense.
When I transferred to the Special Operations Division at the police department, I didn't have to learn how to ride, but I did. I love it because you get on the back roads of Florida and it's just peaceful and you get to experience stuff you never experience in a car.
From social worker to top cop to congresswoman, perspective is the message this wife, mother of 3 and grandmother of 5, hopes will resonate with voters.
Tell me how your 27 years on the streets in Orlando as a police officer, as a police chief, how that informs you as a politician.
I've seen people at their worst and I've seen people at their best. And I have a really clear understanding of how people find themselves in the circumstances they're in the first place. I can remember being told I was the wrong color, the wrong gender, I probably wouldn't amount to much, and only because of where I live in the greatest nation in the world have I had the opportunities that I have. And I really do believe that too many people feel like the American dream is out of reach.
Why decide to run? I mean, you're a well-respected congresswoman. Why run for the upper chamber, as they call it?
Linsey, our nation is in trouble right now. I just want to create better opportunities for others. It's worth the run for me. It is worth the risk for me.
Despite narrowing polls, it's an uphill battle for Demings as Democrats look to flip a Republican seat in the increasingly cherry-red state of Florida. Donald Trump won here twice, and it's been a decade since Florida voters sent a Democrat to the Senate, more than 2 decades since Florida had a Democrat for governor.
Denying the right to buy it is not going to keep them from doing it.
In her only debate against her opponent, Senator Marco Rubio, Demings didn't pull any punches, capitalizing after Rubio appeared to flip-flop about a pledge he made regarding gun restrictions in the aftermath of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting.
I want to make sure that I understand that what you said in 2018 is not what you believe is the solution today.
There should not be a ban on 18 or
19 or 20-year-old.
A 15-year-old just got a gun, got a shotgun.
But that's one case. I just want to make sure.
No, it's more than one case.
Our primary responsibility is the safety of Floridians. And Senator, 24 years in elected office, and you have not yet risen to that occasion. And then when asked about it, you say something that makes no sense.
Despite her 27 years in law enforcement, several unions representing Florida police, including her own former department, recently endorsed Senator Rubio.
How did that happen? When you are the
You know
police?
what? I think it's politics. But what I found is my opponent and too many other people try to use fear. She's not with you because she's a Democrat. I am the police chief who brought the community and the department together to reduce violent crime by over 40%.
What is the #1 concern of Florida voters?
Cost. I sit here as the daughter of a maid and a janitor. I've struggled in my own life. I remember graduating from Florida State, saddled with college debt. We have an affordable housing crisis in Florida. People are worried about keeping a roof over their head, keeping the lights on.
This thing is a beast of a hurricane.
The wind is just ripping.
The surge starting to take over the pool here at our hotel.
Last month, Hurricane Ian only made matters worse.
We saw significant flooding during Hurricane Ian in Central Florida, my home, and certainly in Southwest Florida.
When we talk about climate change, what are your thoughts about what Florida might look like in the future if the superstorms continue?
Climate change is real. We cannot say that climate change causes hurricanes, but certainly global warming, the warming of ocean waters, will cause the storms to be more intense and create a situation where they can do more devastation and damage.
President Biden was supposed to campaign in Florida ahead of the hurricane. Demings had not committed to appearing with him. With his low approval ratings, it's something other Senate hopefuls have had to grapple with.
Have you been putting some distance between yourself and Biden?
I had responsibilities and duties with the Congressional Black Caucus, and then the president announces that he's coming to Orlando. I chose to fulfill those duties, but then got stuck in Florida because of Hurricane Ian. I was where I needed to be. So to even suggest that I'm trying to put distance between myself and the president, I think is ridiculous.
That event has since been rescheduled, and Demings has committed to attend.
Will you support Biden for 4 more years?
If President Biden runs again, I will support him for 4 more years.
If elected, you would be the only active black woman in the Senate, only the 3rd ever in American history. I know you've talked before about how sometimes the stereotypes influence the ideas of what a black woman can or can't do. How so?
I remember when I was appointed police chief, people would approach me on the street, men, but many of them women, who would say to me, "Congratulations. Now you know that's a big job." I said, "It's always been a big job. The job didn't get any bigger because a woman's now in it."
First thing that comes to mind, your greatest strength?
Fearless.
Biggest weakness?
My grandchildren.
Some have suggested Florida is no longer a battleground state and not worth the time or money. But Demings has raised more than $64 million so far and remains hopeful that her grit, determination, and experience will all help her get across the finish line first in the race to November.
You're among the top as far as the money that you've raised. Born and raised here in Florida. If you can't win, is it possible for any Democrat to win a Senate in Florida?
Surely, any person, whether you're a white person in rural North Florida or you're a black girl who grew up poor, regardless of your circumstances, you can win in Florida.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.